Hello, friends of Malagash. It's a privilege to be able to speak to you, and I'm thankful that I was asked to give a devotional. I've been really encouraged by all the devotions that have come before me from former staff and former campers, and it's just been really encouraging to hear the words from these folks and hear their thoughts on various scripture, and it's all good. It's been great. My devotional that I'd like to share with you today is one that I have found very helpful, especially in our current day and age with everything going on in regards to COVID and how our lives have been kind of interrupted. This devotional is all about the need for us as believers to slow down and to be still. Psalm 46:10 is the verse that I'm looking at specifically, and it says the following: "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." So what it's saying in this verse is that it's instructing us to let go, to be quiet, and to be physically and mentally still. For most of us, this is a very difficult thing to do. Life is busy, and so are our minds. Whether it's work or watching kids, running errands, or going to the gym, it's not only tough to make the time to be still, it's sometimes tough to just know how to be still when there's so much going on in our life. And the reality of being still is that the very idea of it is that it contradicts what we as humans naturally and culturally do. Our society, in North America especially, operates on a very busy schedule, and we all seem to have big to-do lists that can stress us out if they're not completed. Our inclination as humans is to constantly be on the move, and we often feel like we've only accomplished anything by getting as many things done in our day as we possibly can. So when I read Psalm 46:10, I read it as a direct command from God to just pump the brakes on our life and slow down. Not only that, but I also like to think long and hard about who God is and what we are not. When life gets busy, it's so easy to make our busy schedules our first priority in our life. And when we think this way, when things in our life become the first priority, the ability to become still and slow down becomes such a hard thing to do. And when we're too busy being busy, God's voice and presence and influence in our lives becomes less and less of a priority. It's so critical to our faith to realize that to realize that the more we are deliberately still and take the time to just slow down and block out all that's around us and just focus on God, the more we do that, the more we hear God's voice in our life. When we hear God's influence and voice in our life, our issues that we have become smaller, and through that we better recognize God and His authority in our lives. And by recognizing His authority, the more we follow His divine purpose for us, instead of just thinking that our own agendas and ideas and abilities are what we should be focusing on day to day. So I'm saying a lot, but mostly what I'm trying to get at here is that taking the time to be still is such an important thing to do. We need to do this as much as we can in our day-to-day, so that we can not only make time for God, but grow deeper in our relationship with Him. To kind of finish off this devotional, I'd like to read a quote that I've always found really helpful when I'm thinking about the need for slowing down. It's a quote from a pastor in South Carolina named John Castile, and he says, "In order to find security in God, we have to stop finding security in everything else. Nothing in this world will offer you the security you have in God." And I completely agree with that quote. When we think about all the things in our life that give us reason to worry, whether it's being busy or getting errands done or thinking about what's next, like we're putting we're placing our faith and security in things that really don't matter.
Next week, we'll be holding a bunny hunt at both grade 9 and 10-12 lunch. Keep an eye out for a picture of a bunny around the halls each day. If you find it,
Sorry about that. There was an announcement at the school I'm working at. I really want to encourage all of you to find time in your day where you can just either sit, be quiet, and just spend some time with God, because I guarantee that when you do that and you are in His presence, it's so beneficial for your relationship with Him to just make that time. So Psalm 46:10, it's a great verse. Read it as often as you can, and it'll be a great reminder for you to do exactly what it says, and that's to be still. So thanks.